This is Web News Today. I'm David Cubero, and this is your world at the moment. The first plane load of evacuees from Lebanon arrives this morning in Baltimore. U.S. officials question how other world leaders might believe that they can lead Israel and Hezbollah terrorists to peace through diplomacy. It's now confirmed that Israeli boots are on the ground in southern Lebanon, and a heat wave on both sides of the Atlantic sparks fears about global warming. Details on these and other stories coming up right now on Web News Today. We begin today with some breaking news. This morning, a plane carrying some 145 U.S. evacuees from war-torn Lebanon touched down at the Thurgood Marshall International Airport in Baltimore at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the first of a number of flights expected to arrive on U.S. soil in the next several days, bringing U.S. citizens back home and back to safety. This is a developing story at the time of this taping, but we will be watching it, and if developments warrant, we will bring you updates as they become available on future broadcasts of Web News Today. In a press conference yesterday, U.S. Ambassador John Bolton wondered how you can go about getting a ceasefire with a terrorist organization. However, Bolton went on to say that he does feel that Israel and Hezbollah must stop fighting before a broader settlement in the conflict can be reached. This statement regarding the fighting between Israeli forces and Hezbollah terrorists came in the wake of Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert's statement that his country's battle against Hezbollah militants will continue for as long as necessary in order to free 2 Israeli soldiers taken hostage on June 12th by Hezbollah operatives, and Olmert went on to say that his nation will continue to fight until this terrorist group is no longer a threat. U.S. leaders currently balk at the notion that brokering a ceasefire is the right course of action at this time. White House spokesman Tony Snow said yesterday that the U.S. is not engaging in military strategy sessions with Israel. Snow said in an interview Wednesday that the U.S. is only backing Israel as it does what it thinks is necessary to secure its borders. Meanwhile, the United Nations has proposed an international force to go into Lebanon as a part of a ceasefire agreement. However, a UN peacekeeping force has already been in southern Lebanon since 1978 and has been largely ineffective in the region. Lebanese Prime Minister Sinior said yesterday that some 300 people have been killed in the Israeli attacks and 500,000 others have been displaced since Israel launched its offensive last week. However, the world must understand that Israel is not at war with Lebanon directly, but is defending itself against the Hezbollah terrorist organization that happens to be based inside that nation's borders. Hezbollah is the target because it was they that kidnapped the 2 Israeli soldiers and then rained rockets down onto northern Israel 8 days ago. The unguided Hezbollah rockets hit randomly and are causing terror among Israeli citizens as they continue to be fired into the nation, and Israel has every right to defend itself. In a related story, it was finally confirmed to the international press on Wednesday that Israeli ground forces have pushed into southern Lebanon as Israeli warplanes continue a relentless barrage on Hezbollah targets. Though the presence of the Israeli Defense Force troops on the ground inside Lebanon was just confirmed yesterday, my personal sources inside Israel tell me that IDF Special Forces operatives have been on the ground since at least Sunday. In any case, it's being reported that some 40 people have been killed by ground forces since they punched across the border. Israel is currently broadcasting warnings to the innocent people of Lebanon to leave the southern region immediately, possibly a sign that Israel is preparing to launch a larger ground assault. The weather continues to be big news around the world. According to a Reuters news agency report released yesterday, 2006 has the dubious honor of going down as the hottest year in recorded history in the U.S., and some are blaming this statistic on global warming. with recent actual air temperatures and heat indices reaching at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius across a large swath of North America, it's easy to imagine that this is an ominous sign. However, it must be noted that the United States began keeping climate data records only back in 1895. Therefore, it's more accurate to say that the year 2006 is the warmest year on average within at least the last 111 years. However, in Great Britain, thermometers recorded their highest temperature on record in July. Yesterday in the city of Wisley in Surrey in the UK, temperatures soared there to 97.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 36.5 degrees centigrade. British weather forecasters said that the unusually hot temperatures reached virtually every corner of the United Kingdom, and they are blaming the heat wave on strong, warm winds blowing across the nation from France. The British heat wave shows no sign of letting up in the near future. A large portion of Europe is baking in the grip of its own heat wave, much like the U.S., with temperatures reaching the mid to upper 90s Fahrenheit from France to Poland to Greece and all points in between, and at least 9 people have succumbed to heat-related illnesses across Europe within the last few days. And this is your world as of now. I'm David Cubero for Web News Today. Join me back here tomorrow or whenever urgent news breaks.